So today I'm doing my first full day fast, my first 24-hour fast, and it's my goal for this year to do a 24-hour fast once at the end of every month, so just the last day of every month. And really it's a 24-hour fast, but really it's going to end up being 36 hours because I ate the last yesterday at 8 p.m. and then by the time it's 8 p.m. tonight, I don't eat 2 hours before bed. So I'm just going to, there's no point eating up right before bed. So I'm just going to go to bed and then break the fast at 8 a.m. tomorrow, making it a 36-hour fast. And I am training legs today, which I've never done a full, like I said, fast before, so I'm not sure if doing really difficult workouts and just exercise during a fast is a bad thing. I don't suppose so, but we'll see. It'll be a new experience, and I will be most likely breaking my fast tomorrow with just a fermented pickle at 8 a.m. and then I'll wait 2 hours to just have my breakfast like normal at 10 a.m. because I always do an intermittent fast until previously it was 12 p.m. So I would go to the gym early in the morning, come back, do some work, then have breakfast at 12 p.m. But I've changed things around and I've found it's actually better to work out when you're doing an intermittent fast. It's better to work out not when you first wake up, but to give your body a few hours, so at least 3 hours, because then your body's just really not in its peak physical state, supposedly, in the morning. It's not really ready to put out its max performance. So if you just wait a few hours, it's, for me personally anyway, I find it's just perfect to, like today I have just gone on a walk. Today it's really windy, but I've just gone on a walk. So I wake up at 6 a.m, come back, 7 a.m, I wake up, meditate, go on a walk, then I'm back for 7 a.m. to the 3-hour deep work block from 7 to 10 a.m. Then at 10 a.m. I go and have breakfast. And this is actually ironic because I just previously made a video about effective time management and how an effective time planning or managing method is potentially not to block your days out and instead just to have your 3 or 4 important tasks for the day noted and don't plan hour by hour. And I'm doing exactly not that right now. But I did also say in the video, 100% that's not the be-all end-all method to, manage your time anyway. So I was really just sharing what I found and learned from the 7 habits of highly effective people. Either way, so I come back from the walk, 7 to 10 a.m. I do deep work. So it's important for this that the day before you do note down in your journal somewhere your 3 or 4 most important tasks for the day, because if not, when you are doing a deep work block, you could often find yourself distracted on other things. And that's why if you do set your intentions clear, you will know when you're doing your deep work block, okay, anything that is not this and anything that does not progress me towards the completion of this task right now is irrelevant, right? So you complete the tasks, that's all you have to do for the deep work block. And personally, I really like deep works blocks. I like just getting in the flow and getting things done. Unlike, the cold calling I've got to do later in the day, but yeah, so right now I'm just creating content for my Twitter or X to grow it. and there's other things I've got to do. And then at 10 a.m., like I said, I go have breakfast, and then it's day in, day out. I go to the gym Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I've just changed my split because I used to do push-pull legs. And the thing is, I've been doing push-pull legs for pretty much ever since I started. I mean, when I first started, it was more so just chest and triceps and back and biceps, and then maybe like shoulders on a different day and legs or something. But truth is, I didn't actually really train legs back then because I would cycle my paper round. So I would cycle my paper round, then I would cycle to school and back. Then for lunch, I would cycle down to buy food and back. Then after school, obviously, I would cycle back. Then I would later in the day be going to the gym again. Not again, but I'd be going to the gym. So again, I cycle down and back. And sometimes I'd be playing football and stuff like that in between. So my legs probably couldn't even take it at that point. But when I stopped doing my paper round, I got straight to training legs. I did actually try to train legs before when I was really active. I am still an active person. I'm just not nearly as active as I used to be. And honestly, I really wish I was. I far prefer being outside all day doing something than being sat in a chair and in an office. That's just my personality. That's who I am. But either way, yeah, I got back to training legs when I finished doing the paper round. And it's interesting, actually. I started doing the paper round at 12. It was a month before I turned 13, so you could say I was 13, almost 13. And then I continued to do that paper round for 3.5 years, I'm pretty sure. Just over three years, so I would have finished when I was 16. And then 3 or 4 years. From 2018 to 2021, so 3 years, yep. And yeah, I did a double paper round, and I've passed those paper rounds down to my brother now. He's actually out doing his paper rounds just now. And I'm glad I had I suppose you could say, work ethic to, at such a young age, actually want to, go out and make money on my own and for myself. Now, I wish I could say I was like, always an entrepreneur kid, always hustling, trying to make money. But I'd be lying if I said that was the case. I've never really been like the kid to try and start a business in school, or all these things, or all these stories that you hear of people who turned millionaires by whatever age, and they were, running candy shop businesses at 9 or something. That's not me, right? I never had like a lemonade stand. I did, but I'm more of like I've always liked being active. I would say maybe I've had some cool ideas, like what I mentioned previously, maybe, but I never actually did anything like that. I've never really, I don't think, really been super entrepreneurial. I would say more I'm someone who's just someone who likes being active and creative also. I like coming up with ideas and creating from there and just creating good things, and I like connecting with people. I'm an extrovert, so I really like meeting new people and bring people together, and that's exactly why I'm right now building a brand. And yes, but either way, I've gone off track. I always break fast at 10 a.m. Then day in, day out, like I said, I go to gym Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, which used to be push-pull legs or push legs pull, but now I've changed my split. So now I do back, shoulders, and triceps on Monday. Then Wednesday, which is today, I'm doing legs, abs, and traps. And then Friday, I'm doing back, biceps, and rear delts. So it will be very interesting to change the split app, and it's always good to change your split once every, every while. Why? It's good to change things up once every while, and not only your split, but just the exercises you do and practice themselves, just in general, to change things up, because your muscles, you might find you hit a bit of a plateau if you do the same thing for a while, and it's actually better than, being caught up in doing the optimal thing like I was caught up doing. It's actually better to potentially go back to some optimal movements, not optimal, conventional movements, and actually just get a good pump doing them, since you've not done them in a while, which was my experience. And then Saturdays, I will decide if I want to continue doing endurance running, because I finished my marathon and I did a 24K at the start of this year, so I'm not sure if I want to continue doing the runs. I think I will. So last Saturday I did a run, and then Sunday is pool and sauna, and then spend time with family. And then I go to gym day in, day out, so every second day, I mean. So then Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I just read. Yeah. Right now I'm just finishing up on Money Master the Game. Then I have Money by Rob Moore, I think the author is. And I've also got a collection of books from ancient China, more specifically The Art of War and other books like it. So, and also quickly, because I was talking about having clear intentions for your deep work blogs, I want to share a nice journal entry that I found somewhere that I'm going to test using every day. I'm just going to start doing it every day, writing out my thoughts. Writing your thoughts out in a journal before bed is really beneficial, I find. Just really get your thoughts out on paper. That way, not only will your intentions be clear for the next day, your head is clear for when you're going to bed. It's really something that's great to do. So this is the daily journal entry. Number 1 is, these are just 5 questions you would ask yourself every day. Now you can do this evening or morning. I prefer evening to get your thoughts out and your head clear before bed. So what am I grateful for? Just list out, 1, 2, 3 things you're grateful for. This is great because it really just makes you think of things you potentially wouldn't have even thought to be grateful for, things you take for granted. And it's a really good question to ask yourself to really increase happiness overall. What are my most important tasks for the day ahead? So, like I said just before, obviously it's important to have your intentions clear. So in this case, I would just list out 3 or 4 things for the day ahead that will mean if they are completed, the day has been successful. What story-worthy moment happened? Now I spelled happened there wrong. Wow. Happened in the past day. So this is great because it increases not only memory, but also it also makes your storytelling better, so you're always going to be a more interesting person. And overall, it really just makes you think of the things that have happened over, the past day, where usually you would just be, just caught up in your routine and not really even thinking of how your day is gone, and so on. So it's a good question to ask yourself. And then, how am I feeling today? Just good to actually look at your emotions. Now, this does not mean as a man to just think, yeah, I'm sad, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and cry and do nothing. Nope. It just means acknowledging the way you feel and coming to terms with your emotions and understanding yourself and why you feel the way you do. And it's a good question to ask yourself. then what's working right now, and also what could be better. So this is obviously 2-in-1, 2 questions. It's also important to just analyze what is working well, and then actually just think, well, what maybe isn't working so well, so I could improve it. Makes you aware of what's going on in your life and what you could be improving. So here I have an entry from yesterday. So this was just last night. Very simple. First entry, like literally the first thing I could think of. My mom's willingness to prepare my family food, because, well, realistically, I'm sure I take it for granted too often, because really there are parents out there who, I'm sure can't even be bothered making food for their kids, or barely even love their children. So I'm grateful. And see, that goes to show, like, it really does not need to be anything crazy. Like, it really does not need to be something crazy that's happened in your life. It could literally just be, thank you for the bed I'm about to sleep in, or the roof I have over my head, because some people don't. And it just makes you aware of these things and grateful for them. Two, this is obviously my important task for the day ahead, so write out at least one piece of content. My agency website, I need to get it back up, because it's gone down. Decide and prepare content platforms, so Twitter is one of them, and I'm kind of deciding if I want to... This is awkward because I can't just flip the camera, I'd have to stop video, but anyway, I'm deciding whether I want to use TikTok to make build the audience, or just purely Twitter and Instagram, or Twitter and TikTok, because I'm not sure if really the people I want to target are going to be on TikTok. I'm not sure if it's really going to be the right place to find the people I want to find. So that's why I have to think about it and decide. I do actually have in my Notion my brand values listed down. So yeah, I can show that potentially, but either way, for now, I also want to start a newsletter, so I need to look at options and then review a sales call. And then a story-worthy thing that happened in the past day. So really, there wasn't anything crazy. I just went to city with my mom because I had to the city because I had to get my braces fixed, and I got an Il Telaio sweater for 1/10 the price. Il Telaio is an Italian brand that does merino wool sweaters, so I got 100% merino wool sweater for 1/10 of the price. Now, the reason I got it for 1/10 of the price is because it was from a charity shop. I mean, a new one is Il Telaio. I checked on the website. A new one is £120. And although potentially, since I've just sold my car, I could afford it, I really could not justify it, because you can buy similar clothes for much less, really just a quarter of the price, a fraction of the price. And in the future, I hope, and I'm sure I will be buying Loro Piana and whatever else, but not at the moment. And the funny thing is, Loro Piana is another 10 times above that, so Loro Piana is like 1 or 2 grand. But yeah, in 2 or 3 years, I'm sure. And I mean, it's just the first thing that came up to my head, because it's supposed story-worthy, because I did tell my dad when he came back from work, so yeah. And then I don't even know if ecstatically is a word. Ecstatic is, but driven, just not ecstatically. So what I mean is, I'm driven. I'm just, sometimes I get like excited when I get ideas in my head and everything is crystal clear, right? Whereas at the moment, I still know what I need to do. My journey is clear. I know my intentions. Since I've not made a ton of progress, and I say I've not made progress, I really most likely have. It's just, on a day-to-day, just like this, right? So you don't really see the progress. I've just not really made money in the past while. So that's what I mean by not making progress. And ultimately, that's what I'm working towards. I just know it's a journey. And that happens over time. So that's why I say not ecstatically, because I'm not, super excited or anything right this moment. But I'm driven because I've got a mission and I need to, I think that's my brother come back there. And then number 5, what's working right now, what could be better? So my Twitter journey, it is growing slowly but steadily. And I'm at I think 19 followers. So I was at I think 6 or maybe even 3, just really not long ago. So I made some progress and I've put out some, I would say, quite valuable piece of content. So it's growing a little bit. And then number 5, what could be better? My agency. I've got to sign more clients. That's what's been going slow lately, and that's the main thing I'm focusing on right now, which isn't ideal that it is going slowly, but yeah. And yeah, that's gonna be all for now, because I was going to potentially show my brand values and talk about the brand Be Mega that I'm starting, but I'm going to leave that for now. I'm just going to get to work. So that's all for now. And so it's the next day and it's 8 a.m. So I'm going to be breaking my fast just now. And I'm going to break it with some bone broth because it's full of collagen, which is extremely important for your gut lining. Whenever you break a fast, you should be really focusing on things like glutamine, collagen. These things will really, once again, help with your gut lining. So right now I'm going to, so glutamine, collagen, and then also fermented foods are great. So I'm going to be having some fermented pickles in a couple of hours when I have breakfast. Right now I'm just breaking with just some soup. It's my mom's homemade soup. It's actually chicken soup, so I suppose it's, could be better, made of full beef bones and all this, but it's homemade chicken soup, and not from stock, by the way, from a full free-range chicken. So you could see before I heated it up, there was essentially jelly at the top of the soup when you take it out the fridge, and that's essentially all that good stuff floating on the top, and shows you it's natural soup, homemade. And yeah, and then I'm going to later have some kefir also. So kefir is, I'll show you. Here, natural kefir. This stuff is great because it could be better because it's pasteurized cow's milk, so raw would be much better, but this is milk fermented with live kefir cultures, and these cultures are extremely good for your gut. Once again, help you with your gut lining. And I'll be having a glass of this with some fermented pickles, and I'll probably just have some beef, hopefully, if we don't really have any beef though. I'll have some kind of meat with La Gruyere cheese. It's Swiss cheese, La Gruyere, made from raw cow's milk. So once again, raw milk. And, well, not once again because we don't have raw milk, but thankfully you can find it in cheese. Around here it's difficult to get raw milk, but raw cheese, it's attainable, or you can get it in shops. And yeah, maybe just like 2 eggs. The thing about milk, many people think they are, lactose intolerant and they can't have any dairy, but really it's just the pasteurized dairy that's harmful because it just doesn't sit right with their gut. Probably me included. I would need to test this a little bit more. But when you do an elimination diet, so you eliminate dairy from your diet, then you can slowly introduce raw dairy back in your diet. You'll see most likely your body will be perfectly fine with this raw dairy, and you'll find it's actually very, very beneficial for your health. Maybe I'll dive deeper into this some other time. I'm not an expert at the moment, so I'm just stating the things I do know. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. Have some of that soup, and that's all for today. Make sure you smash your goals today and keep going.